I am in this area that has been infected by the Airbnb bubble here in Mexico. But the reason I want to talk to you about this area is because it just shows how dumb and stupid the money really is. And you can really see it. So essentially they're building a condo building right there. There's a new condo building here. There's a condo building there. And there's also this condo building here, and there's another one further down. I just wanted again to show you the scale of this condo complex. There's another condo building right there, by the way, and you can also see one down there. That's one we actually stayed in before. The one I'm in right here, one next door, one there, one there, and then the other one that I showed you in the prior video. I mean, talk about saturation, guys. So you've got all these condo buildings that are all in the same area pretty much. Now the one right there has not opened yet. You can probably actually see the signs for it. And the thing is, I've been staying in this area for a couple of years now, so I know what the prices are like. In fact, the building that I'm staying in is this building right here. Now the room that I got is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,000 square foot apartment, and the cost to rent that for a week in December is $1,000 Canadian. Now you have all these condominium projects that are coming up, like this one. They haven't even sold all those, and the development's pretty much finished, which kind of shows you how the market is. But this one they're building here is quite frankly insane, because this is like a luxury building, very similar to the one which is right here, Almatera. But the funny thing is, I actually did a video in front of that building that they are building right now. Have a guess how much a condo costs in that building. The prices start at $350,000 US. Yeah, I'm not kidding you. It's a huge amount of money, and it shows how dumb the money is here. When you really think about it, a 2-bed, 2-bath, the same as the building I'm staying in right there, is $450,000 US. You can figure out, you may be able to rent it out for $30,000 US per year. Your return on investment is pretty bad at that level, right? When you really think about it, pretty bad. I'll put the calculation on screen so you can actually see as a percentage return yearly that you're getting on your investment. And you have to remember, right now you can park your money in a treasury and you can get 5.5%. So if you can get 5.5% risk-free, why on earth are you going to roll the dice on an Airbnb property or a second property or an investment property? You know, it's absolutely ridiculous. But this is what happens when you have dumb money. Do you think that there aren't people buying in that building? If they're building it, there are people buying it, and that means there are stupid people out there. There are people out there that don't do the math. They just think it looks nice. They think, oh yeah, and we'll be able to stay there a couple of months of the year. And I'm not joking when I say that there is going to be hundreds of apartments in this building. It is absolutely massive. So you've got an area that is completely saturated, and just more and more people are buying condos in this area. There's more projects coming up. So I've been sat here crunching the numbers on that Airbnb, and like I said, it just makes 0 sense, guys. Even if you assume a gross return of $50,000 US per year, you're looking at 11.11% return on your investment. 11.11% sounds great, but let's be more realistic here, because you're gonna have costs to cover. It's not just going to be 50,000 net. So let's say you're at 30 or 40,000. That decreases the yield dramatically. If you're getting 30,000 US dollars, that's 6.5%, 6.6%. So you're looking at literally just a terrible investment considering where treasuries are right now. It's just not enough over the risk-free rate to make any sense to do. Plus, it's not like you're investing in something that has a good long-term growth plan. Airbnb is the complete opposite of long-term growth right now. There's absolute saturation, so people are getting in at the worst time. But you know, I had to break this down for you guys because it shows how dumb and stupid people are, and I know that sounds so blunt, but it is just the reality, and that's what I wanted to show in this video. You know, $450,000 US for for one of those condos. The market is absolutely saturated here. Even if you can rent that thing out for $1,000 a week, which I think is not likely at all, you're around 50,000 a year, right? That's just completely not likely either. I mean, the place I'm renting right now is about $700 a week. We're heading into a recession. What's gonna happen, guys? What is gonna happen? And I say it's $700 a week, but that is what I'm paying. Obviously, the host is getting way less than that because Airbnb takes its cut. It's got management fees. It's got cleaners that it has to cover. So the cost that the person is getting is actually way lower. I can't believe how fast prices have gone down. I mean, talk about deflation. In this area, you would have paid double in 2022 for the same apartment that I'm in right now. And you know, it's a nice apartment. I'll just show you real quick. I'm just about to leave for Guadalajara and then drive down to Bucerías. Basically here, it's actually a really nice apartment. 2-bedroom, got everything you need. And I just can't make sense of it, guys. But when you're in a housing bubble, you'll never make sense of it because the people who are buying those condos for investments mostly are foreigners from Canada and the United States. They don't have a clue what they're doing. They're very emotional. So they think, oh, I'm buying this really nice place because that's going to be like a luxury project, apparently, even though the building next door is a luxury building. But they don't rent any more than the ones in this building. People are probably thinking it's a luxury project. They've done all this great marketing. This architect's built it. So that means I'm going to get more money. It really doesn't work like that when you've got supply and demand and you've got so much supply and the demand is going down because we're heading into a global recession. I wanted to share this with you guys because I think it's important. Like I said, even though this is in Mexico and I know most of you aren't going to be interested in the Mexico market, I think it says a lot about how far the Airbnb bubble has really gone. The type of people who are investing in this Airbnb, complete shit show essentially. And it just shows where we're heading. So on Friday, guys, I had an epiphany because I was at this Airbnb host party and basically I realized why a lot of these Airbnb hosts are hanging on to their real estate. And it was quite a realization. It might seem logical when I say it, but the reason is a lot of these people are emotional. They're highly emotional, which we knew anyway because most of them are buying into a bubble, whether it's an Airbnb bubble or a literal housing bubble. But a lot of the reason why these hosts are emotional is because they actually use the unit themselves that they've purchased. Most of these hosts just have one unit. They're not operating multiple units and they just have one unit and they use that unit themselves. So even if the revenue starts dropping, they're emotionally attached to that unit and therefore they're more likely to stay in denial for longer. It's like how homeowners stay in denial when it's their primary residence. You're far more likely to sell it if it's a rental property and you're not emotionally attached to it. So it was a crazy realization I had because it seemed so logical to me. But when they were all explaining this to me at the party, it just clicked in my head. I was like, oh yeah, that makes total sense. You know, now I get it. I understand why these hosts, despite their revenues are down, that they're barely breaking even on it, why they still continue to cling on to this asset. The reality is you can't sit here and go, oh yeah, Luke, everything's going to be fine. You know, demand in the future is going to absolutely be rising. It's just not true. And like I said, you've got a risk-free rate of 5.5%, going for a net yield of like 6-8%. Just so ridiculous. And you're locking that money up in an asset. It's going to be very hard to get your money out of there because taxes in Mexico, you've got capital gains taxes. So any appreciation, which I think is unlikely considering what's happening in the real estate market now in Cabo, it's kind of stalled out. People are less interested and new construction especially is being affected the most. So it always starts in new construction, like my buddy Todd Sachs says, and then it will bleed into everything else. It's just been blown into this huge bubble. People are thinking, you know what, this place, I mean, all the media around here bigs up Cabo. It's like it's going to be the center of the universe and everybody's going to be traveling here and whatever. And it's ridiculous, guys. It really is. But anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, you might like this video here. You might like this playlist here. If you're looking for a VPN, go to expressvpn.com/marketmania. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next one.